Welcome back. It's been a very, very long time. I honestly haven't really recorded much of anything lately. So it's even a bit weird, honestly, talking to the camera, talking to myself in this room. Um, but there's been a lot of changes, lots of different areas of change in my life. And this is a bit of an update to that. I'll try to keep it fairly short this time if possible. I know every time I say that, I go way over. So I've got three main dot points, and let's get into that right now. Number one is why I haven't been making as many videos. Number two is creating a new tribe, Tribe 2.0. And number three is I do have something special to give. All of these are pretty related if you can already tell. So let's just jump right into number one. Why I haven't been making as many videos. There's a couple of different aspects to this problem. I'll skip over some of the details of the other aspects. For example, I'll tell you what they are, but I'll just skip over the details for them. Generally, a lack of discipline, effort, and knowledge, as well as energy. Because I've been starting this new job, because various other commitments in life, and just training more, and just not putting as much time or energy into doing this craft, that's led to me losing that momentum. And then once that's lost, while my expectations for quality go up, and while my razor for intellectual honesty increases, it's harder for me to make videos that I am happy with. But it's all bullshit, and it's all in my head, and it's all in my habits. I'm well aware of that. That's a self-limiting belief, because there's no physical law actually fucking stopping me from, just recording whatever or putting in the work and actually doing good videos. Like nothing's actually stopping me. And I've been in this new job role for just over a month now, a month and a half. And now that I'm fairly settled in, there's a lot more time sparing up over the weekends, for example, where it's just not as taxing. It's not as many things to figure out. I'm pretty well rooted now, so now I can divert more energy, more mental bandwidth back to this. There wasn't really any excuse to begin with, but now there's even less of an obstacle. So that's that first main point. Second main point is I had a bit of a financial realization. I've talked about this before. I do very much intend to make this a genuine, truthful, helpful business where it's a legitimate win-win, right? The viewers who can just view things for free, get as much information as possible. Most of my, 95% of my information should always be free, and the most relevant and the most truthful to me at the moment in my stage of development to help young guys build relationships, build connections. Everyone should be able to watch that for free. And then there should be a group of people who, if they want to, can purchase some kind of paid product, program, course, events, community, whatever it might be. I don't know what that would look like yet, but that was the main problem, because towards the end of last year, I did a lot more proper thinking and math and diving deep into the numbers of this game that I want to do, especially if I don't want to do all these scammy courses and bullshit online. It's not even that courses or info products are bad. It's just that there are so many ways to fuck it up and destroy your brand or cheat people of their money and their time and their trust, which I very much intend to avoid, to be the complete opposite of. Basically, if I want to do this properly, if I want to do this to the intellectual integrity and authentic trust that I bring to these videos that I'd like to have in my actual relationships and in the products that I use, if I want to do it to that degree, it's going to take way more time, way more effort, way more knowledge that I don't know yet. And I can't pull off the money-making part of this business yet for another, let's say, year or 2 years. I don't know how fast, I can do this, but I should at least expect another 12 months of putting in proper solid work to grow my own knowledge in the side, to get feedback, to get mentorship, to get, critique from people who know what they're doing, and to grow this audience and make these videos at the same time. I should expect to do that first. I can't fucking cheat this system without selling some bullshit course and get the fast money. So there was a bit of a financial wake-up call, as well as a lot more, what's that word? Not liabilities, but like responsibilities, commitments, duties. I hadn't thought through that very intentionally. I had vague dreams and ideas, but like it wasn't operational. It wasn't tactical. It was fucking fanciful. So there was a huge realization and just understanding that, okay, if I wanted to do this properly to my own standards and to my own, like in a way that I can sleep well at night, knowing that I did something good, like for real, with this mission, with these guys, not just scam them to get some quick money. If I wanted to do it properly, it wasn't going to be easy money, obviously. It's going to take some time, and I don't know when it's going to work. So I needed to divert my energy elsewhere, figure other shit out first before coming back to this. At least that was the thought process, or it wasn't even that intentional. It was just one of the reasons why my energy got diverted massively away from this mission. So yeah, that's the main two. I wanted to skip over the details, but I had to give a bit more context because that's the biggest reasons why I haven't been doing this. But then thirdly, more importantly for, our context and the actual mission, the third reason why I haven't been making as many videos recently is because I hadn't been interacting with my tribe and young guys as much. I just wasn't in as much like total contact with them, like sheer number of hours. And I wasn't, immersing myself in that environment because I was spending time building my own relationships. I was spending time living my own connections and upgrading those connections outside of the tribe and that aspect because I had it fairly sorted for quite a while, for the last 2 years. I had made such tremendous progress in that aspect in the last 2-3 years that it was a fairly stable part of my life. So I was using now my energy elsewhere. And, fucking unsurprisingly, when you go 6 months with bare minimum contact with the tribe, with the boys, with young guys, the relationships were okay. I'll talk about that in a bit. But it's more that I just didn't have as much new things to say about it, nor was it occupying the primary slot in my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind was just not immersed in the idea of connections for young people, for young men specifically. It wasn't in that headspace, if we want to call it that. And yeah, I was building relationships with my parents, for instance, with my girlfriend, my partner. I'm spending a lot of time with it, and it's been fucking incredible. I haven't said as much about this yet. It's just I want to get more experience and more, I guess, time under the belt, and to be more qualified to talk about this. I don't want to be just another, young guy getting straight into this relationship and then talking a lot about it. But it's fucking, a good relationship is so much better than you could ever possibly imagine. If you're a young guy watching this and you haven't experienced it and you haven't really worked on it, you'd be so surprised. With each passing day, this connection just grows even stronger. It's fucking unreal. But that aside, I have been putting a lot of energy into that as well. A lot of time. Energy-wise, I feel like it's more about energy management in terms of the activities I do. Actually, into the relationship itself, if you're doing well and you have a very compatible partner who is working on it as well, it's fairly restorative in terms of energy. It doesn't feel like I'm getting drained by spending time with her. But yeah, that's another point. Essentially, I hadn't been spending that much time with my tribe And it's also because everyone was now in their own different chapters of life. Like everyone's basically fully employed. Some people are across around different parts of the world. Some people are doing different jobs with their own partners now. Like a lot has changed in my close personal group. And yeah, like they've just evolved. They're all doing their own things. There wasn't as deep of a sense of group, a sense of unity. Each individual bond was still very strong. Each individual connection, each individual interaction was fucking 10 out of 10. It was fantastic. But our group conversations, they were deteriorating a lot. And it was pretty sad, honestly. What's it called? Our group roundtables, like these weekly calls, attendance just started dropping bit by bit because people were busy, because people had different priorities. And at first I was like, what the fuck's happening? You know, I'm meant to be the guy who specifically, right, can handle these connections and the changes in these connections and what to do with these connections. But as time went on, I realized, firstly, I just wasn't getting that much material or that much passion to talk about it in these videos, which again reinforces that like downward trend. I wasn't just making that many videos anymore, and it wasn't top of mind anymore. But then for my tribe itself, it was sad to see it slowly fizzle out, even though each individual interaction was fantastic. You know, when I hang out with them one-on-one, or when I get on a call with any single one of them, it's amazing. But then together as a group, we just didn't have a very clear shared purpose or shared direction anymore. And each person was a bit scattered, essentially. It was fading. That's probably the best word. So I was a bit like discouraged by that. And I felt like almost a bit of an imposter. Like if I can't keep my own group together, if I can't rescue this situation in my own life, how the fuck can I be talking to these young guys about it on camera? Like I very much struggle to pretend to show a certain front while doing something in the back end, right? Doing something different in my private life. I fucking hate that like hypocritical aspect of myself, because I've done that for so long in the past, because I was a chronic liar, because I would lie about fucking everything. It became a habitual like part of my identity, part of my lexicon. It was organic, the way I just spoke in lies. So like I'm extra sensitive to that. So this, to be honest, it wasn't like falling apart, but this slight fading of the unity and the passion in my own connections, in my own friendship group, that eroded my conviction to be able to talk about it on camera. And honestly, although it hit my, how would I put this? Although it was detrimental to my productivity, I'm actually I'm not that upset about the outcome, because I would rather be this allergic to being a hypocrite, to saying one thing and then doing another, than, you know, just pretending like everything's fine and just pumping out more shit. Yeah, I'm actually not too sure what I think about that. I think there's obviously the Alex Hormozy style of fuck your... Actually, that's Layla Hormozy's quote. Fuck your mood, follow the plan. Right, stick to the plan. It doesn't matter what I think. We'll get back to that point in a bit, but it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter if I feel like a hypocrite or not. Just do the correct actions. And if it helps people, it's helpful anyway. Like, fuck it, who cares? But yeah, I'm somewhat proud of the current version of Jack having such aversion to essentially lying on camera, or not really lying, but not showing up on camera the same way that I show up in my real life. That aversion is, I actually think, pretty healthy, because it is forcing me to either up my standard or just not fucking lie about it. Right? I either up my real standard in my real life and on camera, or if my real life can't match it, then I'd rather not say anything and not do anything to claim otherwise, to show that I'm better than I am. Yeah, I don't really like that. So that's essentially what has been happening. I'll just move into the next point, because this is it feeds directly into point number 2, the second topic of this video. The rest of these are pretty quick, but essentially, second topic is I have started essentially building a new tribe. And it's not that, it's like 95% the same people. There's just one new guy coming in. And it's a bit of a refresher of the group spirit and what we're here to do. The essence of a tribe, you can tell I'm fucking, I barely have any idea what I'm doing anymore. I haven't done this in too long. But the essence of a tribe has to revolve around some kind of shared goal or shared path. Otherwise, it is very difficult to maintain that group unity moving forward, which is what happened with the previous tribe, right? We have evolved past the classic self-improvement phase of our lives. And a lot of people, this is something that I was sad about before, but I realized, these guys moving on or evolving or changing into different chapters, different aspects of their life, I was sad about it. But then I was like, wait, hold on. Wasn't this a point of the tribe in the first place? To provide this safe, sanctuary, this dojo, for each of us to come together, to share our skills, to aid each other in this one particular goal, this one particular purpose, and then let each of us be stronger as a unit and level up so we can go our own ways. Or so we can go any way we want, essentially. But the tribe was there to empower and strengthen each individual, because we couldn't have done so, or couldn't have done it as fast on our own. We came together to do this, to level the fuck up. And then it's each person's choice. It's each man's choice. That was the whole point. That was the beauty of it. This was fucking incredible. I did what I set out to do. Each of us came into the tribe one man and left a much better man. And I say left, but all of them are still my closest friends. So they're not really gone. It's just that particular version of the tribe has now evolved into something else. We essentially now have been bonding around this tribe 2.0, I'm calling. It started off really just building it around a Saturday morning run, because I wanted to get more back into cardio, running, long distance, getting a lot fitter this year. And yeah, it was essentially who is willing to show up for this run? Who is on the same path, following the same kind of activity? We're all at slightly different levels at running, but without a very clear shared activity that people will be willing to show up to every fucking week, there's no tribe, it's so difficult to keep people together unless they have a shared mission, a shared space where they show up, they work together, they do this thing, and then they bond over that experience, and everything branches off from there. So this Tribe 2.0 primarily revolved around doing this Saturday morning run. And then the second aspect of it that I hinted to was we brought in a new person. Honestly, I just yanked this guy in. I just invited him. He's one of my friends, one of my tribe members, mutual friends. I've only talked to him for a couple of hours in person ever. And then I invited him to my house with the boys to have a dinner one night. And it was fantastic. He cooked for us, which was very surprising, and it was unreal. But that's beside the point. Basically, invited this really cool dude into our group that I didn't know him that well. But because it was a mutual recommendation, there was already a level of trust that I know, this guy's not a fucking psycho. And also, I had my friends in the house with me just in case he was a psycho, so I wouldn't be, stuck alone. But, jokes aside, I knew he wasn't crazy. I knew he was like a decent dude at least. Because my friend's known him for, 3 years or something, 2-3 years. And then secondly, there were multiple aspects of his life, what things he works on that I've heard about that are unfakeable signals of discipline, drive, and passion. Essentially, this is another crazy motherfucker. He pours his heart and soul into certain things that he does. I'm not going to reveal too many details just in case, I haven't told him that I'm going to talk about him yet. So I'll keep him anonymous for now. But yeah, there were unfakeable signals. So I took the risk. I invited him in. Unsurprisingly, merged really well with the group. But why I'm talking about this is because this guy added a refresher and a new spark, lit a fucking fire under our asses, because he brought in such unfakeable indicators of discipline, of willpower, of dedication to his craft, to the new thing he's learning. He's getting into videography as well. And we could help him. But, just seeing the obsession, the attention to detail, the willingness to fucking, put in the work, try new things, trust me, get invited to essentially a stranger's house. A lot of things lined up where it was the right person to bring in. I had wanted to bring them in for about a year or so, but various circumstances and also my own lack of proactiveness meant that it was quite delayed. But due to various other reasons, this was actually the perfect time, perfect time, both for us as trying to build this new tribe, and also for this person, because I wrote something here. Seeing the discipline, determination, skills of this person was really motivating, and injecting a burst of energy into this new tribe. But also the suffering of this awesome fucking dude just made it feel like it was the right thing to do. He is acing so many things, in my opinion. Maybe he's humble as fuck, so he might say something different, but he's leveled up in so many aspects. But I could see the amount of suffering in his solitude and in his lack of connections, or lack of connections like this, strong male connections, young guys around him who are not just fucking dumbasses, or these hyper masculine influencer guys. Whatever we're doing here, he didn't quite have that, and that the suffering I saw, that I could sense, it just felt like the right timing, the right thing to do. And it was. There was a breakthrough moment just last week that I felt I finally got to see him. And yeah, I want to talk about it, but I shouldn't. That's his thing to say or to let me talk about. So yeah, that was an incredibly moving moment. And I knew it was the right thing to do. So that wraps up building tribe number 2, tribe 2.0. Final topic for today, which is directly related to what we just said, is I do have something special to give. This is pretty much what I was just saying about that monumental moment when I finally broke through to this guy. Oh, I say I finally broke through to this guy. I did break through, but it's also he chose to take that fucking courageous step and open up. It's not just me. I can't take full credit. even though I want to. I do have something special to give. I've realized over the last 2 weeks or so, I don't know what the fuck was happening, but there was a series of various different conversations that lined up, various different circumstances, interactions with so many different people in different contexts. It was almost too coincidental, too perfect. Everything was fucking lining up one after the other. Like day after day after day. It felt like each of them were pushing me to come back to this, to get back to thinking about connections, talking about it, sharing it, helping young guys navigate it, learning more about it for myself, deepening my own relationships and working on my own understandings. Like in so many of these conversations, it was obvious, not in an egotistical way, but of course, like ego is involved, and I am a pretty fucking egotistical person. But in so many of these conversations, it was so clear that I helped them so much. That whatever the thousands of hours of work I've put into this, to getting better at speaking, to getting better at understanding myself, to getting better at knowing other people, learning about relationships, about connections, about, social, like dynamics, psychology, about our struggles, traumas. And I'm still a fucking noob, right? Like I'm not even that knowledgeable, but just the amount of work that I have put in so far and the type of person I am, I don't know, various different factors, the way I speak, maybe the way I showed up, like it helped the person in front of me. And like I said, every single one of these interactions just ended up leaving with the sense, I don't know if it was just me making it up, it just felt like there was a voice calling me, like, Jack, get the fuck back on the log. Like, get back to this thing. You have a gift here to give. And it's just too fucking important. Like, so many young guys are doing well in so many different things, and they put their chips into different skills, but then they're still struggling with their connections, with family, with romantic partners, with their friends, with co-workers. And I wrote something here. Like, I think I can genuinely help because I do have something special here. If not my skills, which actually need much further development, but my passion for it is what can help. If it's not even what I bring right now, it's not even my actual level of expertise. That needs to be worked on a lot, like I've said. But it's the fact that this is my passion. The talent that I have on this is that I fucking love it. I am willing to, speak about these on videos. I'm willing to, I don't know how deep we're in, like 40 minutes into this video. I'm willing to read books about this shit. I'm willing to watch videos about this. I'm willing to journal about this for years. Like, I like doing that. That is my passion. That is my talent. And that is what I can bring to the table. This is an art form to me because it used to be survival for me. I couldn't figure out what the fuck was happening, why people got in arguments, why people didn't like me, why people did like me in some contexts, why I had no close friends even though I had a bunch of people around me, why I never felt like I was truly known or heard. Like I never felt like I could truly express myself and let go. Like I have such a strong cringe response that I'm too judgmental in so many things. Why do I lie so much? Like, regardless, I don't really know what happened, but the circumstances have placed it so that my experiences and my passion have given me this increasing skill set because I am willing to put a lot of time and a lot of my tokens into this one particular fucking slot machine, into this one particular claw machine. Right? No one else wants to spend it all on this aspect, but I'm happy to dive deep into this. Like, if discounting everything else, my skills, my experiences, all of that. I just love it. And by sheer exposure of loving it, I should be able to help. And yeah, it's back to, I wrote here as well that little point from before. It almost doesn't matter how I feel about this now. Like, if it is as important as I say it is, as I think it is, which I do genuinely believe so, like, as the nature of work changes, as the nature of our environment changes, like, what is left of being human that cannot be reduced away by the advent of AI, by the changing nature of work and employment and meaning? So long as we're human, connections will still matter to us. And connections still matter to us because they're human. So why would we not get better at this skill? Why would we not do anything intentional to practice this skill in a fucking, like, in an effortful, proper way? If it is so important, and if so many people are talking about it, why are we leaving our connections up to chance, up to fucking the leftover scraps of our energy and our intentionality? Oh yeah, even I was literally doing this with these videos, right? It's a little bit different, but it's basically like I did my, fucking my main employment, I did my fucking training, I did my everything else, and then at the end of the week, my 3% left of my total energy expenditure for the week, my energy budget, there's 3% left. Oh, okay, now it's time to do my videos, which is my mission. How fucking backwards is that? That doesn't make any sense. How am I supposed to, I claim it's the most important thing in my life, my mission, and yet I dedicate the last 2 to 3% leftover scraps of energy to this thing that's supposed to be so important that will change every aspect of my life. And most people are doing that with their connections, including me before. So it is too important. If that's what I believe, it doesn't matter what I feel about it. Like that point I said at the start about, I'm glad that I am super hypersensitive to hypocrisy in my own life and in my own conduct. That still stands true, but there is so much merit in a mission like this. Like, what the fuck does my own insecurity have to do with this? Whether I have doubts about the financial efficacy or my own path or whatever, like, I am but a vehicle for this mission, which is going to have to be done anyways. And then the egocentric part of me, which will actually help in this case, it's like, if this is so important as you believe so, and if it's going to happen anyways, and if people are going to have to struggle through this and then come out the other side anyway, why not me, who does love this shit, who has something to give here? Why don't I help make it happen? I'm not the main character, but why don't I fucking support this flow of history and help the young guys around me? And the thing is, another tangent. Not going to dive too deep into this, but some people have said, which is kind of, I was never offended by it, it's kind of funny, is that I'm, just trying to help the men. But firstly, it's because, like, you realize that's my perspective. Like, I don't really I'm not that qualified to help other groups because I am a young man myself, and I have recently been and still am a young man myself. So I know the exact struggles. I know how to talk to them, what tone works for a certain proportion of young men who are like me. So that's factor number one. That's why I'm speaking to them. But number two, if I help them, or I help them help themselves in becoming better men and having better emotional skills, better emotional maturity and capacity and communication skills and ability to empathize and understand and lead with compassion and bravery and strength and discipline and softness and kindness, does that not benefit everyone around them? Like the working on connections is not for the individual themselves. A connection can only happen with the people in their life. It's like we're helping build a stronger support post so that every single other person that they encounter and interact with in their life gets to benefit off of this person's work, off of my work that I'm doing here, that I'm trying to like help these guys with. It's about the guys. I'm trying to help them because I knew how fucking bad it was for me, how much I struggled with it, and how simple but not easy the fixes were. Like doing some basic research into this, you realize, bullshit, it's not even that crazy. It's not even that complex. Some of the things Jack tells me to do are like the simplest things ever. Yes, but it's not easy when you don't have the right environment around you and you don't have the right reminders or the right mindset to do so. Like that's kind of the point. But then once you start doing that, it's the benefit is for the people around you. This is a classic, truly. I am a selfish individual, but I love genuine win-win games because the more I can help others, the better my life gets as well. A true win-win. Like I will genuinely help other people, but then they appreciate that and try to help me more. Or I get the benefits of doing that more too because I just feel better as well. I feel like a good fucking human being. The ultimate benefit. So yeah, the more we do this and help young men, like the young men now are going to be the old men later. Right? Like they're going to be the ones, if other people are watching this, they're going to be the ones who are your partners, your co-workers, your leaders, your subordinates, your friends. The fucking lawyer that's handling your case, the police officer that's like, pulling you over, the guy who's going to marry your daughter or, be taking care of your mum in the hospital or some shit. Like, wouldn't you hope these guys are more emotionally capable, intelligent? Wouldn't you hope that they've done the work internally, physically, externally? Wouldn't you hope that they're better at their connections and have better support networks and are more like intellectually, mentally well-rounded? Wouldn't you hope that they're more able to access all parts of their heart and their brain and their bodies? That was the whole point. It's for me, it's for you, it's for all of us. That's what the connections are for in the first place. That's why we care about it. We're social animals for a reason. So yeah, that was a huge fucking tangent, but essentially it just comes back to the mission is too important. Doesn't really matter how I feel. I'm gonna have to do something about it because I love it and it will change a lot of things and it will really benefit me too. It's a no-brainer. And I'll just read this last part and probably wrap it up there. The mission will evolve, but something about connection is so foundational, so fundamental to the human condition. And I love it so much. Learning the social currents, the shifting tides of emotions in a conversation. This is just such a beautiful art to me, and with such an incredible benefit and outcome produced as well. That's why I do it, and that's why I have to come back and continue. Alright, let's wrap it up there. Do the respectable thing, and I'll see you very fucking soon.